Technology is ever evolving.
From our appliances to cell phones.
What are the chances a robot or computer will one day take over your job?
Machine learning powers the simplicity that we always want to offer.
Robots, machine learning, AI.
To me, that shit is normal. This is energy that we're talking about, right?
Right.
Cars still move off of gas. Like, that shit is like the Stone Age, bro. Like, shit's going electric. That's on some spaceship shit. So like, at the end of the day, like, they have this shit. They just can't give it to you because they're killing people testing it. It's like it's like food, you know what I mean? Like, they have to approve this shit before it comes out, but they have a car that goes, it just crashed into the wall, you know what I mean? And somebody died in it, and they're like, whoa, we can't put this on the streets yet. It's like all of that shit, energy,
really?
Yeah, like.
Well, you think they have a car that's so fast they can't put it on the street?
They have. I just feel like transportation in general, you know what I mean? Yeah. Communication, transportation, technology, the way we hear music, the way that we view things and shit like that. Our whole experience, we're being spoon-fed. FaceTime, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It was like you used to have the service to FaceTime.
Right.
Now everybody can FaceTime. People don't even call each other no more. They just FaceTime. So we feel like, oh man, we came up. This was blah, blah, blah. Like, we feel good about that. We feel excellent about it. But there's more. I feel like that's just me. I just feel like they're just sitting on it. You know what I mean? They're waiting to give it to us.
I don't think companies have any reason to do that.
Yeah.
The only reason to do that would be to get rid of the stock of the stuff that they're already selling. Mm-hmm. That'd be the only reason. Because sometimes when companies announce a new product's coming, people stop buying the old product. Like Corvette is having a problem with that right now.
Okay.
Because the Corvette, excuse me, they got this car, the ZR1. You seen that thing?
Yep.
It's a demon. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous that you could go to a store and buy a car that has that much horsepower. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people don't want to buy them because then there's a new Corvette coming out in like a year.
Right.
That's a mid-engine, total new design. They don't want to be stuck with the old one.
Got you.
People get weird.
Yeah, that's true.
So in that sense, they might be holding out on what they're about to be able to do. Mm-hmm. But like we saw with that foldable phone that Samsung tried to come out with, and then they had to take it back because it was so defective. So many of them were breaking. It was a giant embarrassment, and they pulled the whole thing.
Right.
And now they're trying to rework it and figure out what to do with it. That's like, if a company has something like that happen, and that's the number 2 smartphone company in the world, or they're number 1, right? Samsung's number 1. Huawei's number 2, Apple's number 3. Mm-hmm. That's the number 1 cell phone manufacturer in the world, and they got that kind of a fuck up. There's no way. They're not holding back anything. I don't think so. I think they're trying to sell the best shit they have right now, and then they're in development with the next level shit right now. But as far as like what they can bring to market, what they have is what they bring to market. I think like those on-screen fingerprint sensors, they didn't used to be able to do that. Now they can. You just touch the glass and it reads it. All that shit is like, they're just trying to get it dialed in to the point where they could sell it to enough people and it doesn't break. Like that stupid folding. Did you see that folding screen?
Yeah, it was a regular phone, but it folded though.
Yeah.
And
then it would fold open to like an iPad.
To an iPad, yeah, that shit's stupid.
But that thing kept breaking.
Okay.
And, you know, when it came out, everybody's like, holy shit, this is the future. The glass bends.
I think there's like people who just freak out about whatever's new, right?
Right.
And then there's like shit that really moves, really changes shit. And there's a huge difference between those. Like, you got the people who just want the new shit, and then you got motherfuckers who's actually like doing shit that changes things forever. Like streaming changed music forever. You know what I'm saying? So it's like mini discs and all of that other stupid shit that people were trying to do to change music. It didn't work. So it's like the one thing that stands out and changes things forever. That's what motherfuckers remember. I don't know if they're holding it or not. It is what it is. But like, there's some smart motherfuckers who designed this shit for us. Yeah. And at the end of the day, like, you got people who just consume it and they're just like, oh man, I'm here for whatever. And then I feel like there's a lot of people who understand it and know how to play off of, you know what I mean, those people's emotions. And that's where you get like what we have now. And me personally, I love everything. Like, I'm not a person who like is stuck with the old shit or has to have all of the new shit either. Like, I'm just like obsessed with life in general. Like, all of this shit fucks me up, but it's crazy. It's insane.
We live in insane times.
We
bro.
live in insane times.
What's cool about today too is that we can go and still like appreciate and use some of the shit from the past, like a record player.
Yeah.
You know, use a record, listen to some old records.
Right.
You know, and realize like, wow, this is how people used to get their music. They used to sit in front of the record player with headphones on. I remember being a kid doing that.
Right.
People would listen to albums. They open up the album, looking at the art. That was a big part of an album.
Right.
What was the photo layout? What was the pictures?
It's crazy how everybody thinks like the new shit ruins the older shit too. Like,
Right.
It's like people still enjoy everything.
Yeah.
Man. Like, you know, it's just stages of it.
I love that old shit exists.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Go back and listen to some of that old stuff.
People don't watch tapes anymore though. Like you can't get like a VHS. Like that's not the move.
Yeah, I think those are dead and gone. VHS. tape. Remember
like,
when someone would give you a copy of a copy, and it was all like every now and then it had little lines through it and shit. You get like second, third generation copies from friends.
Yeah. VHSs are done, bro.
You remember? I don't know if you remember this, but you used to be able to buy movies right after they came out, especially in New York, because dudes would sit in the back of the movie theater.
Oh, like the little bootleg joints.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could watch the movie from like it was
like a video camera.
Yeah.
It'd be like in their video and the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was a crazy time. Yeah, they weren't hiding shit back then. They were using all of their technology.
Yep. That's everything they had.
That was everything they fucking had.
The crazy thing is that's not that long ago. In terms of the human race, that's not that long ago.
That's the 90s.
That's so recent.
So this is what, 2019, so that's 20 years. So you go back 23, 24 years maybe.
Imagine if you could see what the fuck 24 years from now is.
It's crazy. I related to like when I was younger in the 90s, because I was like a baby in the 90s. I wasn't even a teenager. So 20 years from then was the 70s.
Yeah.
And shit was totally like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like now from 20 years for that to be the same time frame, like that shit is crazy to me.
You really want to know how crazy it is, man? Get yourself into like a 1970 Plymouth and drive that thing and realize that in 1970, that's how people drove. They drive this thing that like it barely knows where you're telling it to go.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You could do this with the steering wheel.
They
as
didn't
you're
even
driving
have
on the
power
street.
steering in the 60s and shit, bro. Like,
Yeah, you're
you
right.
had to turn that thing like
A
this.
lot of them didn't. Yeah, a lot of them didn't. But those cars were terrible. And that was
Horrible.
just a few years ago. I mean, in terms of like human history.
Right.
If you looked at a block of time in history, like if you looked at the difference between 1820 and 1840, in our head, it's like, that's the same shit. 1820, 1840, what the fuck was different? There was nothing different.
Yep.
But if you look at our generation, 40 years ago to now, it's insane.
It's true.
It's insane. It doesn't even make sense.
It's nuts.
We're barely the same thing.
Bruh. It's crazy. It's crazy.